Hello, hello, hello,
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಉಂಟಾ?
hello,
आपको सुन रहा है क्या?
हेलो। नहीं, आप मेरे आवाज आ रहे?
हाँ, आ रहा है। आप
अच्छा,
कंटिन्यू करें। आपको
क्या नहीं?
श्रीमठ से तरफ से आपको
हाँ,
हार्दिक स्वागत करते हुए आप ये कार्यक्रम प्रारंभ कीजिए।
अच्छा, okay. Thank you very much, the great saints and servants of Udupi Krishna Temple, for inviting me on such a great day to deliver a speech on the archaeological aspects of Ayodhya excavation. I'm really thankful to all the saints and servants of Udupi Krishna Much. I'm basically an archaeologist. An archaeologist has got two important duties. Number one, exploration and excavation. Because many years back, we never knew that the India had such a great heritage like our Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, etc. So it was Archaeological Survey of India who had excavated Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and brought out many unknown things before the world and pushed back the history of India to 2500 years. So that is one aspect of an archaeologist. And the second aspect is that he conserves and preserves our ruined temples, mosques, palaces, and other things. That is the different aspect of it. So today I'm going to speak to you about the first aspect, that is exploration and excavations at various places and especially with a special reference to Ayodhya. You all know about Sri Ramji. He is our Maryada Purush. He is Purushottama. And he is that is because of this Purushottama and Maryada Purush. He is being worshipped all over the world. All over the world means the Indian subcontinent, of course, it is there. And if we go beyond that to Southeast Asian countries like Sumatra, Java, Bali, Malaysia, Indonesia. Malaysia and Indonesia is predominantly Islamic countries, but still they give more importance to Ramayana, Mahabharata, and many of our ancient heritage, this one, history. So not only then Southeast Asian countries, we can find it if we go to China, Korea, Japan, in all those Far East Asian countries also, it is well known in one way or the other. Why he is so much liked by all the people? Because he was an idol. Because he is a ideal person for all of us. That is why in Aranyakanta, even his own dreaded enemy Maricha says, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma Sadhu Satya Parakrama. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma Sadhu Satya Parakrama. Raja Sarvasya Logasya Devanam Magavaniva. And this is what his own enemies says. And that is why even now, whenever I mean during the lean days, we recite, and especially in my part, I'm from Kerala, during the period of rainy days, every day there will be at the time of evening, there will be the recitation of Ramayana. So he is Sarve, Raja Sarvasya Logasya Devana. And he is like that. And that is the reason why the great poet of Pakistan, Iqbal, Allama Iqbal says, हे राम के वजूद पे हिंदुस्तान को नाज, हे राम के वजूद पे हिंदुस्तान को नाज, अहले नजर समझते हैं उनको इमाम हिंद. The discernible people, because we are proud of Lord Ram, he says, हे राम के वजूद पे हिंदुस्तान को नाज. We are proud of, really proud of Lord Ram. And then he says, अहले नजर समझते हैं. The discernible eyes. The discernible eyes know that he is the Imam of Hind. Unko Imam Hind. So it is that kind of place. I mean, a person, and especially going to that place, that darshanam janma bhumescha, and seeing that holy place, that is Ayodhya, and smaranam Ramanamata, and reciting his own name, the name of Rama, majjanam sarayu tire, and having a dip at the sarayu, Hridave papanashanam, because that will be destroying all kinds of papas, all kinds of sins. So that is what Sri Rama represents. So in 1976 and 77, there was a program to explore and excavate Ayodhya. The excavation was led by a very great archaeologist of India. His name is Professor B.B. Lal. So along with Professor B.B. Lal, he had selected 10 students from School of Archaeology, because at that time in Delhi, after passing out our MA examination, I gave an interview and an written examination also, and then I got admission in the School of Archaeology in Delhi. So it was he who had selected this team, and then we went to Ayodhya for exploration and excavation. So whenever we take up a site, as I told you that before excavation, we explore the entire area. So we went to, we were staying in a small inn, which was just in front of the controversial temple at that time. It was just by the side of it. So every day we used to hear the bhajans, the devaganas, and all those things. Every day, right from the morning and up to 12 o'clock, it was continuously going. And there was a completely surcharged, religiously surcharged atmosphere. So all the people, they were having Vishnu Tilak at that time. And while I was going for the excavation, I used to keep a Vishnu Tilak. And then people who knew me, they used to smile at me. So before the exploration, what we did is we went to this controversial place also, and I saw that 12 pillars of the controversial mosque at that time, they were made of temple pillars. The question comes, how do you say that this is a temple pillar, or this is a mosque pillar, or this is a church pillar? Obviously, people may ask. So in 12th century AD, almost all the temple pillars, they were having Purna Kalasha at the base part of it. At the lower part of this temple pillars, Purna Kalasha was there. It was carved. So what is Purna Kalasha? Purna Kalasha is a symbol of prosperity in Hinduism. It is one of the Ashtamangala Chinnas, 8 auspicious symbols in Hinduism. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnartha, Purnamudachara. It is one of the 8 auspicious symbols. And then there were some of the carvings of some of the gods and goddesses also. And people had tried to deface it also, but it was clear then. So we knew that these are the temple pillars. And then Professor B.B. Lal, he excavated the western part of the temple just behind the this one mosque. At that time, the mosque was standing, so there was no question of excavating inside it, but we just excavated outside it. So there he got temple pillar bases, and this temple pillar bases was for keeping these temple pillars, because whenever you make a pillar, the lower part of it that has to be strengthened. So the pillar bases were made below that one, and that pillar bases were excavated. So he came to the conclusion, yes, these are the pillar bases. And then when he further excavated, we were also there because he was the leader of the team. We got a number of terracotta idols of Hindu gods and goddesses. So we say whenever we excavate a site, what is the site? We associate it with the whatever this one materials we are getting from there, we associate it with that one. So gods and goddesses of terracotta gods and goddesses are coming from various places, and that should be associated with this temple pillar, that is with Purnamada, Purnamidam, with this one uh, 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 thing. And then we came to the conclusion that was a small excavation, and we came to the conclusion that these are the temple pillars. It was not a very big issue at that time because it was 76 and 77, not a very big issue. But the communist historians, they were very powerful. In 1988 and 1990, they were very powerful. They had a lot of connection with the English press also, and they were generally considered as the intellectuals also. They gave a statement that Professor B.B. Lal had excavated that place, and from the excavation, he did not get anything which are associated with temples, and then there is no need for Muslims to hand over the structure for the construction of a temple. It was not raised by Professor B.B. Lal. This interview was given by the communist historians who are not archaeologists. They are simply historians. They have not visited the site. If they had visited the site, seen the excavation, and then given the statement, we could have understood it. They had not visited the sites. And archaeology is a technical subject. In technical subject, you have to qualify yourself fully for that. Not only qualify it, and then you have to have an experience of reading the layers at least for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Otherwise, you are not supposed to excavate a site independently because everything depends upon your experience also. So see, that is a certain thing. So at that time, I was working in Tamil Nadu. I was in Chennai, then known as Madras. I gave a statement. No, Professor Lal Sahab, he defended, no, we have got many things that are associated with the temples, and these are the temple pillars and a number of terracotta items of various gods and goddesses also have been excavated, and we have no doubt that it was part and parcel of a temple. He gave a statement, but they were in majority. They had a lot of connection with the English press, especially not Hindi press, but English press. They went on a publication spree, and at that time I was working in Tamil Nadu, and as I said, and my probation period was not over, and I'm a government servant. A government servant should not give a rebuttal. So I gave a statement saying that I was the only Muslim who had participated in that excavation. I have seen that temple pillars, and I have seen the bases of that brick bases which was excavated by Professor B.B. Lal, and also all those terracotta idols also I have seen, and I have no doubt that earlier that structure was a temple structure. And then as an archaeologist, so that was my duty, and I said this thing, and then I further added this Ram Janma Bhoomi, that is as important for Hindus as Makkah and Medina are for Muslims. Since this is as important for Hindus as Makkah and Medina are for Muslims, Muslims should have willingly handed over to Hindus for constructing a huge temple, Sri Rama temple, at that place. So obviously, the whole communist historian, they could not rebut me because none of them had excavated, participated in that excavation. None of them had seen the archaeological site also. And I was speaking as a man who had participated in that excavation and also as a Muslim. So they could not rebut, but they could do one thing because I was a government servant. A government servant at that time, it was not BJP government. And I had no inkling also that after 30, 40 years, BJP would come into power. So they could use their own machinery. And my probation period was also not over. If your probation period is not over and you are giving such a very sensitive statement, then I could be dismissed from the service. There is no need of suspending it. There is no need of issuing a show cause notice. I could be directly dismissed from the service. But I gave this statement. And there was a one I. Mahadevan, Dr. I. Mahadevan. He was a great IAS officer. And then he was the in charge of Dinamalar newspaper at that time in Tamil Nadu. So it was one of my discussion with him, and all these things came out. Of course, the government took action against me, but they did not suspend me. They did not dismiss me because Mahadevan, because was a great archaeologist, and at the same time he was a great IAS officer, a big IAS or top IAS officer. So he intervenes. So my suspension was stopped. I was transferred from Tamil Nadu to Goa. So that is one story. So at that time, he had said one thing in his statement. That is, I. Mahadevan had said, okay, one set of historians says that there was no temples. But another group of archaeologists says there was a temple below the mosque. Then why can't we do one more excavation? So if it is water, that would be water. If it is milk, that would be milk. He had said the same thing at that time. So the second excavation, in order to know, I mean, this went on, this became a big problem. And of course, the fight was going on between communist group, Muslim group supported by communist historians, and then other independent group. We are not with VHP, we are not with any other thing. We are only with truth because we don't have any commitment the other way. So we stood our ground. So the second excavation that started when after a very long time, and this excavation was led by Dr. B.R. Mani. Dr. B.R. Mani, he retired from the Archaeological Survey of India as Additional Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. And then he went to National Museum. There he retired from National Museum as the Director General and the Vice Chancellor also, a very great archaeologist. So he retired from there. So then when he excavated, so this was mainly to know whether the historians were saying the right thing or the archaeologists were saying the right thing. So second excavation was for that. So we all know that that excavation started in 2003. That is well known for all of us. Started. It was only they had very few months to excavate the entire thing, and the whole world was looking what is coming out. The whole world was now coming out for the thing, and there were very very good arrangement also, because nothing should favor any particular group. So for that, the experts of, I mean, Archaeological Survey of India was representing it as per the court order. The Allahabad High Court had given an order that Archaeological Survey of India should excavate the place and then come out with their own result. So, as Archaeological Survey of India is not a party. The party was, one was Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the other Hindu groups also, and then the work committee, they were part. Archaeological Survey of India was not a party, because it has no kind of favoritism. Whatever they say, whatever they see, that they would say. So this was led by this one, Dr. P.R. Mani. And when we excavated, there were only 12 pillars were there. And the communist historians were saying, no, no, there are no temple remains at all. But when second time it was, when Dr. Mani was excavated, more than 50 remains of 50 pillars were excavated. More than 50 pillars of the temple were excavated, which means this was not simply an ordinary temple. It was a huge temple. 50 pillar basis means it is a huge pillar basis, a huge temple. And that too in 17 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 17 rows, it was excavated. And you just see, to oversee the entire excavation work, not only the archaeological excavation team, but also a group from Vishwa Hindu Parishad was there, a group from the Lucknow Waqf Board Committee, their experts were there, and then there were the independent observers appointed by the court. A munsif was there, permanently posted there, and their lawyers were there. One is the experts of Waqf Committee, experts of lawyers, their Waqf Committee's lawyers, all of them were there. And then to make it free from any kind of allegations, 1/4 of the people who were working at the site, they were also Muslims. So that, no partiality should be shown. So it was in that excavation, more than 50 pillar, we had got only 12. More than 50 pillar bases were excavated. And then 263 terracotta idols were excavated. Just tell me, had it been a mosque area, would you get the idols of ladies? Can you get cobra? Cobra means, I mean, terracotta cobra. Can you get terracotta horses? Can you get terracotta dogs? You cannot get it. So similarly, 263 terracotta gods, goddesses, and various other animals were there. So this yielded the everything. And then if you go to North India, in North Indian temples, on the top of it, just below the Kalasha, there will be Amalka. Amalka is like our Nellika. If you go to Ayodhya, Pattadakal, Badami, there you can see this kind of Amalkas. Most of this one, but not in our southern Karnataka area. You may not get it, because the temple is a North Indian. This Amalka would be only in temples. It will not be in a residential area. It will not be in a market area. So that means there was a very big temple. Amalka is there. Then in North Indian temples, all the temples will be having the Shigara portion. Shigara is the major part of a temple. So many architectural members which was associated with with the Shigara part of the temples that were also excavated from that area, the Shigara portion of the temple. Already you have got the pillars, and over Mandapa there will be the Shigara portion. That Shigara portion was excavated, and then Amalga was excavated, and then Pranala. What is a Pranala? Pranala, every day we have to bathe the deity, whether if it is Shiva, you have to bath the Shiva. If it is Vishnu, we will have to do that one. If it is Ganapati, we will have to do that one every day. And then that Abhisheka Jala, that passes through a gargoyle. And that is known as a Pranala. And this Pranala, whether it's in North Indian temple or South Indian temple, that would be always towards northern side. Why northern side? Uttaravahini, that is a river running towards north, that is very auspicious in Hinduism. All the temples, wherever you go, if it runs towards north, Gangotri, Yamunotri, Haridwar, Lakshmanjula, Prayag, and even down below at various other places also. Wherever the river takes a turn, that is a very important place for Hinduism. That is why go to any of the temples, the pranali would be towards the northern side. So this pranali, and that too, not simple pranali, a Makara pranali. Now you may ask, what is Makara? Makara is a symbol of river Ganga. River Ganga, if you go to a North Indian temples, just in front of Garbhagriha, on the right side, there would be a lady standing with a pot of water on crocodile, which means that is Ganga. That is mostly on the right side. And then on the left side, there will be another lady who would be standing on tortoise. Tortoise means that is Yamuna. So this means that you are having a symbolic path, both in Ganga, Yamuna, and the underground Saraswati, washing off all your sins, and then with a pure heart, with a pure mind, and with a pure body, you are going to Lord Shiva, Vishnu, or whatever it is. So this pranali was excavated. Now just understand the importance of a pranali. Pranali again. This is exclusively a part of a Hindu temple. You cannot find it in the market area. You cannot find it in a residential area. This is exclusively of temples. So all these things, 263 pieces of this one items, all of them were excavated. And then there was one more very important. There was a Vishnu Hari Shila Falak. What is this Vishnu Hari Shila Falak? It was an inscription which was excavated from that area, and that very clearly excavated means it was when the mosque was destroyed. At that time it was salvaged. What is the importance of this inscription? This inscription, because it says that this temple is dedicated to that Vishnu who had killed 10-headed person. Who is that 10-headed person? Ravana, who had killed him, Rama. And then further it says, who had killed Bali. Who had killed Bali? It was Sri Ram. So this inscription, this was paleographically, it was again identified. It was inspected by Dr. K.V. Ramesh. Dr. K.V. Ramesh is from inscription. That is, I mean, we have an epigraphy department of archaeological survey, and he was the head in it. He inspected it, and then he read it also, and then he said that it belongs to 12th century AD, and the name of the king who had built it, that is Govinda Chandra, his name is also mentioned there. So all these conclusive evidences were excavated from there, and it was on the basis of this excavation, it was said, no, this was a great temple dedicated to Lord Sri Rama. And Archaeological Survey of India came to this conclusion. But our communist historians, not archaeologists, communist historians, they refused to believe it. They created a lot of problems. They took up excuses for everything. And then ultimately, we all know that the case had gone to the High Court, and then High Court gave a decision which was not acceptable to any party. Then again, it went to Supreme Court. When into Supreme Court of India, the cases were going on a daily basis. We all know, because that is within a recent history. On a daily basis, all these things were going on. So at that time, I knew the behavior of these people. That is the archaeologists and the historians of Aligarh Muslim University. अभी रोक लीजिएगा, मैं बता दूंगा आपसे. Please stop it. So I knew. Is there any shortage of time? So I knew the behavior of this Aligarh Muslim University, Irfan Habib, and other things, because I was there in Aligarh Muslim University for 10 years. I know the mentality of the Muslims also, because Muslims wanted to solve this problem by handing it over it to Hindu community as a whole. But this communist historian, especially Irfan Habib, Romila Tapar, R.S. Sharma, many of them I know personally. Many of them, like R.S. Sharma, I had a very good relation, because I worked in Bihar, so I used to go to him and he used to come to my place. So we had a very good relation. But I knew their behavior, they would be creating a problem. In the final solution of this thing also, they would go to some of the press people, Times of India or some other press, and try to create confusion in the minds of the judges also. So before they went to the press, I gave a very lengthy statement in Times of India in the month of October, November, because the November was the final day of the judgment. In the month of October, November, I gave a very big statement, because what these people had done was, they said that the second excavation was led by Dr. B.R. Mani. B.R. Mani is a Hindu. So his excavation report, the report submitted by Archaeological Survey of India, that is a prejudice report. It should not be accepted at all. So I knew, because they will be doing all this thing. So in my statement, I said, no, it cannot be like that. Archaeological Survey of India is not a party. It is Vishwa Hindu Parishad and it is Lucknow Waqf Board. They are the party. Archaeological Survey of India is not a party. Archaeological Survey of India was directed by the Honorable High Court. So it is on the basis of the direction of the High Court. This report has been submitted by Dr. B.R. Mani. So this should be accepted as a court commissioner's report. As a court commissioner's report, it is not a partial, it is not a prejudiced report, it is a court commissioner's report. Court commissioner's report, that means it is a court report. The court is bound to accept it. That was my first argument. And then they had argued, because this was led by a Hindu group of, there are certain internal informations known to archaeologists only, archaeologists working in Archaeological Survey of India. So I argued, no, it was not Dr. Mani's report alone. It was a joint report. And four archaeologists were from Muslim community. Four Muslims who prepared the co-authors of this report were Muslims. Who are those people? I gave the names and the their positions also in Archaeological Survey of India who had participated in. Who were they? One was Dr. Ghulam Hussain Sayyidin Khaja. And Ghulam Hussain Sayyidin Khaja, a well-known archaeologist, he retired as the director of Arabic and Persian epigraphy from Nagpur. That also I gave, so that nobody should have any doubt. He was the co-author of this report. That is number one. Number two, Atikur Rahman Siddiqui. Dr. Atikur Rahman Siddiqui, he retired as the superintending archaeologist of Agra. Agra and Delhi, these are very important circles of Archaeological Survey of India. And this Dr. Atikur Rahman Siddiqui, he retired from there as a superintending archaeologist. He is not an ordinary person, a well-known person. And then the third one person was Zulfikar Ali. He is even now serving in a legal in this one in Chandigarh as the superintending archaeologist. In Archaeological Survey of India, there might be many higher posts, but the post of superintending archaeologist, that is very important, very crucial. It is mostly he who execute most of the work. So all these things were given. That was the third person. And the fourth person was Dr. A. Hashmi, who retired from Bhopal. So when I gave the names of all these people, along with their designation, that was not a punch. It was not simply a punch, but it was a knockout blow for the communist historians. They had nothing to say because they had never participated in this excavation. They did not know about this one. And then also they would come because they had certain press connection and they will come out along with those. So it was that one because I gave a befitting reply. It was just few days before the judgment. So that the this one, the mind of the people also should be ready for that. So what they did is because they could not deny all these things. These are on the records. And they were the co-authors also. So what they did is there is one person known as Dr. Nadeem Rizvi. He was the chairman of the Department of History, Aligarh Muslim University. He, with the connivance of some person in Times of India, he came out. See, K.K. Mohamed was not part of this excavation. He had never participated in this excavation, which was there at Ayodhya. Because after my completing this course, I had joined Aligarh Muslim University as technical assistant and assistant archaeologist. And he said, I was in Aligarh Muslim University at that time. And then if I was in Aligarh Muslim, how could I participate in this excavation? I know because these people, they don't have any love for truth and other things. They would speak anything in order to gain their this one positions. So this will people will come out with all these things. And K.K. Mohammed was never part of the excavation which was conducted by Professor B.B. Lal. That was their state. And it came out in the Times of India also. So as per journalistic ethics, morality, principles, Times of India they should have contacted me. They should have sought my opinion also. This is what people say. And Dr. Nadeem says, and what is your comment on this thing? They did not do it. They just published it just like anything in Times of India. It was published. all over the country except not in Calicut, because they know that I would be in Calicut and I would be reading it, and then I will be giving a counter for all these things. So it was not published in this one, Calicut edition. But I have my own this one connection with all the people, and it immediately came to me. And I contacted Professor B.B. Lal. Professor B.B. Lal was not in India. He was in USA at that time. Through email, I contacted him. And then he gave a statement to Kumar Shakti Shekhar, who had published my story first. He said, no, Mr. K.K. Mohamed was along with me during the excavation, and he was very much there, and he was in the excavation team, and he gave a very full open statement. And then this Shakti Shekhar, he contacted some of the people who are, I mean, who had participated in that excavation and are alive now. And who were they? One was Rajnath Bhau. Rajnath Bhau was along with us during that time. So he contacted him, whether K.K. Mohammed was part of the excavation team. So he gave, yes, we were there in this one, Ayodhya, for 2 years, 2.5 years, so 2.5 months. We participated in the excavation. He was at this particular place. And then Dr. Chaturvedi was there. Dr. Chaturvedi is in this one, Gwalior. He was also part of the excavation team. Then Ashok Kumar Pandey, he was there. So, I mean, all of these people gave a statement. When this statement, because Times of India had to publish, when this statement was also again published in the Times of India, these communist historians were completely exposed next time also. Completely exposed. They had nothing to say now. They were completely excavated. But the uh, bad part of it was the government should have taken action against such people who had come with a false statement in the press. Aligarh University should have taken action. The Ministry of Education should have taken action against them, but they did not do all those things. So this is, and then when the judgment came, and the judgment came, it was one of the most perfect judgment, one of the most perfect judgment I had ever seen. Because I never knew, I never expected that this would be so much perfect. It was a wonderful judgment. The whole area was given for the construction of Ram Temple, so that there should be a very big temple representing the entire culture of the country, not only of the country, of the whole Southeast Asia and also of the Far East Asia. That is what we want. It is a injury which was done for many centuries, and that is now it has been completely solved, and now the temple construction is going on. And I had made a proposal that we should have a very good museum there, an underground air-conditioned museum there, so that all those items which was excavated during those two excavations, that should be exhibited. And later on, when they were digging the foundation for the construction of the new temple, many more archaeological things, many pillars, many pilasters, many friezes, many brackets were also excavated. I mean, that was, dug out. So all these things that should be shown to the people. People should have an opportunity to go, see, understand about the great heritage of the country. Now, this is the sum total of it. And also at the same time, there was a recent meeting. It was a web meeting by the temple committee. I said not only because if you go to this one, some of the, Delhi, there is Akshardham temple is there. In Akshardham temple, the scientific development of ancient India, they have shown it in a very appropriate, very interesting way. So now we also should showcase our own heritage. Not only heritage, our scientific heritage. What the great scientist like Teraga, the great physician, what he had done, like Patanjali, what he had done. So all this the scientific scientific achievement of India that should also be exhibited, showcased in a very interesting way, so that a person who goes to the site, he should come out of it with a feeling, no, my country, that is India, had substantially contributed to the scientific development of the world. That has to be the interruption. You go to the Akshardham temple, because they had specially invited me for it while I was there in Delhi. And I was really thrilled to see the whole thing. That should be the way it should be projected. But at the same time, we should be very cautious. Our approach should be scientific. Non scientific things that we had Pushpaga Vimana at that time, or we knew that plastic surgery at that time, such things should not mar our exhibition. You have to be very scientific. What is proven scientifically, only that should be accepted. What is mythology? Mythology is a different. It's not necessary to accept that one, because all over the world they had their own mythology. And that mythology, they don't mix it with scientific bodies. Egypt had their own mythology. Mesopotamia, they had their own mythology. In those civilizations also, the flying things have been shown. Greeks had their own mythology. Chinese had their own mythology. But they don't mix like us, because our difficulty is that we mix our mythology in the scientific bodies. We go and proclaim in scientific bodies, oh, we had this thing, that. I mean, there is no point in doing that. Be very scientific and accept whatever was there, and let us construct, let us have Hindus, Muslim, Christian, all of them should be united, and let us unite and construct a very strong India. That should be our motto. And now I don't know whether you have time schedule or not, because that will be the presentation. It may take time. It may take near about, I think, 40, 50 minutes. If you have time, I'm ready to show. It all depends upon you. Otherwise, we can come to a conclusion. And I am once more, I'm grateful to
It's
the great Krishna
Mohammed
Mutt,
ji.
for giving me an opportunity to speak to you
Okay,
and present you what is the right thing.
it's fine. I can continue. There are spectators, like viewers, will be loving to.
Okay, okay. Then we can go to the PPT, please. This is about Ayodhya excavation. Yes, I will hurry through. Yeah. Next, please. This is about the archaeological excavation, not in India, but outside the country. So I'm skipping that portion. I don't want to go through. Next, please. And next, please. These are all outside the country. Just to give an introduction. It is for the students. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. This is Professor Bibila, a great historian, and he was 55 at that time when we went to Ayodhya excavation. Next, please. This is the first part. When this one, our own Vedic civilization. This is the beginning of the Vedic civilization. So if you go to Vedas, especially we have got 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajus, Sam, Atharva. So if you go to Rig Veda, there the mentioning of reference of 7 rivers are there. Sapta Sindhu, it is said. 7 rivers. Imam me Gange Yamune Saraswati Shututri Somam Sajada Parushnaya Asiknye Maruvrade Vitastaya. So that is the beginning of our our Vedic civilization. And then gradually they came to Punjab and UP, a part of Punjab and UP. Next, please. So this is that at the place where the whole development of Hinduism had taken place. It was most of the avatars of Vishnu. We all know that the Savdara is Thermal Sikurma, Varahasya Narasinghi Vamanatide Ramoram. We all know. So all these Savdaras had taken in this particular land, that is in between Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Rishadwati. Saraswati and Rishadwati is very important. It was known as Brahmadesha, Brahmarshi Desha, and also sometimes Madhya Desha. The development of Hinduism. And this was the land where Indra had shown his parakrama. Vishnu has taken his several incarnation. Yamashinavami Madam Vishnu Yasyam Vichakrami. Indrayom Chakratmane Namitram. Let us bow to that land. Let us bow to that land where Indra had shown his parakrama. So this is that land. So once upon a time, the concept was, this was created by gods. This land was created. Tvam deva nirmidam desham brahmavartam pratikshate. This land of Brahmavarta that has been created by gods and goddesses. That was the concept. इसलिए हमेशा कहते हैं वहां कोई गलत चीज होना नहीं चाहिए this one navartidavyam tada dharma bandho dharmena nityena chavartidavye. This is a land created by and purified rishis and maharshis, and nothing untoward should happen. But now, cities over the years, it is not like that. UP, Bihar, and the main Punjab and UP, Himachal Pradesh, Delhi portion is about that. Next, please. And the main Hastinapura was also here. So, Hastinapura, it was Professor B.B. Lal who had excavated Hastinapura. Hastinapura, we all know that it was the capital of Pancha Pandavas at that time, Pancha Pandavas also, and also the Kauravas also. So this was a huge mount. And Professor B.B. Lal, he went for the excavation for it. In 1952-55, he excavated it. Next, please. Next, please. So this is the mount, huge mount. In Tamil Nadu and this one, Karnataka, we have huge mounds are there. So this was the place which was the capital of Pancha Pandavas. So he excavated this thing, and at the lowest part, he got a pottery known as PGW, painted graveware, at the lowest part. Not only at Hastinapura, but in all those places connected with Mahabharata, at the lowest part, he got the same kind of pottery. For example, Ahichatra, he got the same kind of pottery. Ahichatra was part of the same, this one, group. Ahichatra was very important at that time. And then there were 5 important places. And Pandavas said, you give us these 5 villages so that we don't make any claim. One was, as we all know, Tilpat, Bagpat, Sonipat, Indrapat. So Indrapat is now the Purana Kila in Delhi. So Indrapat was there, Tilpat was there, Bagpat was there, Sonpat was there. And in all these places, because this is connected with Mahabharata, in all these places, when he excavated, he got the same kind of pottery, PGW. Then another place connected use was Kurukshetra. In Kurukshetra also, it was the same thing. And then uh, where there were many other places also. So all those places associated with Mahabharata at the lowest level, he got a pottery. So he gave it the name that is PGW. In popular term, it is known as Mahabharata. Next, please. So it was at this place he had excavated. Next, please. So this is that PGW painted graveyard. It is gray in color, but there will be a painting in black. And this is available in all the places where Mahabharata, which is associated with Mahabharata. Next, please. It's a deluxe rare pottery of that. Next, please. So in that thing, there was a reference in Vayu Purana. So we all know the battle was won by Panchapandavas. But after the winning of the battle, the Dharmaputra, he has to become the king because he was the eldest. So he said, no, I don't want to be the king because for this thing, I had waded through the blood and of my kith and kin. I don't want. Then the second was asked, you are a Kshatriya, you had to, it is your duty. Karmanyevadhikaras, it is your duty, you have to do your karma. He refused. Bhima refused. Nagula, all of them refused. But it's a duty also. Then who would be? Then it is said that Parikshit would be. The youngest man, Parikshit. Parikshit was, we all know that he was the son of Abhimanyu. So while his eighth generation from Parikshit, the eighth generation was ruling the country, there was a reference about a great flood which had occurred in Ganga, which completely destroyed the whole Hastinapura. And then the people of Hastinapura shifted to another place known as Koshambi. So this reference, Professor B.B. Lal got it from Vayupurana. Vayupurana say Gangeya Apahride, Gangeya, that is the river Ganga, Apahride stole, Gangeya Apahride Nagaram Nagaswahe. Nagaram Nagaswahi means that is our great city, Nagaram. Yuktar Nijachu. And then Nijachu, who was Nijachu? Nijachu was eighth from the Parishth. Yuktar Nijachu Nagaram Kaushambeyam Sanivatsayade. He migrated from here and then he got rehabilitated Kaushambi, Kaushambeyam Sanivatsayade. So with this thing, when he excavated, he got that flood deposit was, I mean, the flood deposit, and also the flood was, I mean, the whole flood, the signs were in a flood deposit was excavated. If you look at this particular, this one, at the lower part, you can see the flood deposit. And then nothing was there. Everything was destroyed. Nagaram Kaushambeyam, Sanivasayade, then people migrated to Kaushambi. He went and excavated Kaushambi. And when he excavated Kaushambi, he got a degenerated pottery of PGW. Because why degenerated? The houses were not very good. Here they had a great brick houses were there. But there you don't have that kind of very good brick houses. Because now they have become refugees. And even their pottery, that is PGW, that is also of a lower quality. So it was on the basis of which he had dated Ramayana. So, sorry, he had dated this one, Mahabharata, to 11th century, 10th century, 11th century. But later on the basis of the revision of so many dates, now it is almost historians are of the opinion, archaeologists are of the opinion that it would be Bharata period would be roughly 1400 or 1300 BC. That is the period of Krishna also. Next, please. And it was the period of the use of iron. Till that time, only bronze was. So bronze is not a very powerful metal. But when iron was discovered, that became a very powerful, and people were able to clear a lot of forests, start agricultural, and who had the person who had the biggest deposit of iron, he would be the biggest king. And that is why the Sudarshana Chakra of Krishna, That became a very powerful weapon, very ferocious weapon. Next, please. So these are the iron tools that excavated from Ataranjikada. Next, please. And they had built very good houses also. Next, please. And next, Shivalinga. Next, please. I had to hurry through. I'll hurry through. I will come to Ramayana part. Next, please. Next, please. This is at when this one that we excavated Puranakila also. In Puranakila also, at the lowest level, not only in Puranakila, even outside the Puranakila near Humayun temple, so Humayun tomb, we got a number of pieces which is associated with this one, Mahabharata, that is PGW. Next, please. So this is the excavation at Puranakila going on. Next, please. That is Indraprastha. Next, please. This is associated with that this one lakh house, because they had built a lakh house. Kauravas with the ulterior motive of burning down all the Pandavas, but Pandavas, they had built a small this one, I mean, underground pathway. Next, please. Through which they had excavated. This is recently at Sinoli. Sinoli, it was excavated by Archaeological Survey of India, and Dr. Sanjay Manjul was the leader of the team, excavation team, and in a very remarkable excavation. Earlier, we knew, we read about in this one in Ramayana also there are references about rathas, but an archaeologist would not believe unless and until he gets the part of this ratha, because you don't have any part of the ratha in archaeological excavation. Similarly, we know that in Mahabharata also there are so many references, but now 2 years back, for the first time in an archaeological context, the rathas was excavated by a very good team of Archaeological Survey of India, Dr. Sanjay Manchul and his wife. They were, I mean, husband and this one wife, and they excavated this thing in a very remarkable way. And that is a excavation of like one can call it the excavation of the century. And now archaeologists can very well say we had rathas in ancient India. Next, please. Next, please. These are the, you can see that the next, I mean, the huge, I mean, people used to bury, not only cremation, burial was there, and these are the weapons which they had. You can just see huge weapons they had used. Huge weapons they had used. The photographs are there. Next, please. So the people were buried also like this one. This is a sarcophagus burial, not cremation. Next, please. Here you can see the chakra of Ratha. It was wooden, and then the metallic shield was there over that. So only the metal survived, the wood did not survive. So you can see in this, if you see very closely, because it should have been a bigger photo, I mean, you can see the wheels of the Ratha and also the front portion of the Ratha also. I think I should be able to show you a better picture. Next, please. Next, please. It was like this one. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So here in this photograph, it is still more clearer. You can see the wheels on the lower right side. The wheels are there, and then on the back side, the other wheel is also there. So this was for the first time, because it was iron was not, it is before iron. It is bronze. So Bronze Age was there. So at that time they were using this kind of casing was there, bronze casing, and inside the wooden ratha, this one wheel. So this is a wheel on the right side, and on the back side there is the back wheel also. Next, please. You can see it now how the spokes are there. It's not. It was a solid one, but you can see the mark of this one. Bronze strips are there. Next, please. So this is from Rasmanama. That was Akbar was very fascinated. The great King Akbar, Mughal king, he was very much fascinated by Ramayana, Mahabharata, and he had ordered his people, painters, to construct, to paint it. And now this is, you can see that Swayamvara of this one, the Panjali. Next, please. And this is about the dice play, because in the dice play, they were completely defeated, and then they had to. On the lower part, you can see they are going to Kailash. And the Vastrachaiva of Draupadi is there. You can see in the right side. Next, please. This is that dice play is going on. Games man also would be there. Next, please. So similarly, this kind of dices were excavated, which proves again the dice play was very prevalent in those days. So this is an excavated material. Next, please. This is, of course, Professor S.R. Rao. It was he who had discovered the great Dwaraka city. So for I am a student of both these people, Professor S.R. Rao, and also this one for B.B. Lal. And it was he who had excavated the great Dwaraka. And that too going, because he could not get it over the land, so he had to go down to the sea. Next, please. So this is the excavation team. Professor Alok Tripathi, now he has become the additional Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. This is not at this site, this is at another site. Next, please. And then when we went down, they could get the remains of a city there, and also some of the seals on the basis of that was a Mesopotamian seals. That means they had trade relation with Mesopotamia also at that time. Next, please. This is that seal, Mesopotamian seal, unicorn seal. Next, please. And this is the bastion of the city of Dwaraka. The underground, this one excavators, they are measuring it. Next, please. You can see the wall portion also of the city underground. Now everything is completely submerged in a tsunami. Next, please. And this is the earliest terracotta of Lord Ram, 2nd century BC. Next, please. This is in Los Angeles Museum. And this is Ahalya Mochan in various parts of the country. Next, please. This is the abduction of Sita. You can see Ravana. He is abducting Sita. But Sita, in order to guide Sri Rama, she throws away her bangles so that they could understand that it was at this place she was abducted by these people. So we call her that she was the first archaeologist. So that, in archaeology, we get small, small leads on the basis of which we build up. And it was on the basis of this angle, they had Sri Rama and Lakshmana had gone on hunting of this Ravana. Next, please. Next, please. All these things, I'm skipping certain parts. Post Professor B.B. Lal. Next, please. This is Ayodhya area near Sarayu. Manjaram Sarayu, Tire Kradave, Papanashanam. Next, please. So this was our excavation team. In the center in black, this one, Professor B.B. Lal is there. I'm sitting down below in the central. And on the right side of Professor B.B. Lal, Kusum Lal, that is Professor B.B. Lal's wife. And many other historians are there. And Dr. B. Narasimhaya, he was the main excavator at that time. He is along the, second from the, I think he is from Barkur area. So Barkur is well known to all of you people. And this one, second from the left, those people who are sitting, that is Barkur Narasimhaya. Next, please. This is, we are celebrating the Holi. This is the temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu existed. That this was my press statement. Press statement, not the first press statement. That is in the month of November, just before the judgment. I had given this statement. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, a very long statement. Next, please. And this was their rebuttal. They, speaking lie that K.K. Mohamed was never part of the Lal's Ayodhya excavation. And then Professor B.B. Lal's statement comes. Next, please. K.K. Mohamed was with me during the excavation at Ayodhya. Professor B.B. Lal. This also Times of India had to publish it. Next, please. The controversial mosque before destruction. Next, please. And this was the kind of pillars which we had seen. So you can see that yellow thing because there was an image which was completely defaced. And on the lower part is this Purna Kalasha, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnartha, Purnamudita. So similarly, 12 pillars were. Next. Here you can see the Purna Kalasha. Purna Kalasha. And if you have any doubt, go to Delhi. Near Qutub Minar, there is a mosque known as Quwwatul Islam Masjid. There you can see, even now you can see number of temple pillars. In India, in Indian history, certain wrong things have happened. It is accepted. That was part of the conquest. It has happened. Why should you deny all those things? There is no need of denying all those things. Now let us accept it. It has happened all over the world. In India, also similarly, many of the temples have been destroyed. Now you cannot go back. You cannot go back. But at least certain things, like this one Ram Mandir, you have to accept whatever was there and let us start a healing process. The Hindu, Muslim, we have to start a very healing process. When whatever has happened, at least we should repent for it. At least in your mind, you repent for it. That is what I say. So in Quwwatul Islam Masjid, a number of temples have been destroyed. Don't try to justify there. The communist historians are trying to justify Muslim. Oh, no, 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 they did not do it because of their fanaticism. They have done it for money, gold, and silver. This is how the communist historian tried to justify. Let us not justify. Whatever had happened, that was wrong. Now let us not create a new world on the basis of that kind of ferocity which was shown by the Muslims at that time. Next, please. Look at this, the lower part of it. Hello?
can hear you.
There was a disconnection. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Acha.
absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
But I am not able to connect. There was some problem. Next, please. Next, please. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Acha. Next, please. So you can see Purna Kalasha here.
yeah.
Next, please. Next, please. Can you hear?
We can hear. Just the slide is not moving.
But
We'll look
acha.
at it.
Uh,
Slides are not moving. You just need to look.
I see. Acha. Again, the Kirti Muga. This is from Kuwatul Islam Masjid. And the Purna Kalasha is there. This one, Kirti Muga of Lord Shiva is there. Next, please. So many things have happened. Let us accept it. Next, please. Next, please. I'll hurry through. The temple bells are there. This was the same kind of things, we got it, there also. Next, please. Next, please. You can see the sculptures there of gods and goddesses. Next, please. Next, please. Number of, again, sculptures of gods and goddesses. Next, please. Next. Next, please. 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 Ganesha Ekatandam Chaturbahu Gajavakram Mahodaram Siddhi Buddhi Samayuktam Moshigarutam Hoja. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, 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 next. This is Dr. Mani, B.R. Mani, a great archaeologist. So these are the pillar bases which was excavated at Ayodhya. Why was this pillar basis? This was mainly for firmly putting this one pillars. So for that you have to strengthen the lower portion. It was mainly for that. So these were excavated along with a number of sculptures of Hindu gods and goddesses and other secular images also. Next, please. So 90 trenches were excavated by Dr. B.R. Mani. Next, please. And a number of pillar bases started coming out. Next, please. So this is a diagram made out of that one. Where excavated and what are the material that has come out of. Next, please. And this was a circular temple. So circular temples, if you go to northern India, you have a number of circular temples like this. So communist historian tried to again misinterpret it. They said that this is a Buddhist structure. A Buddhist structure, it would be a solid one. It will not be having a vacant place just like Garbha. That would be a solid place, but they did not know about the art and architecture of Buddhism. So they came out with this kind of excuses and argument, false arguments. Next, please. This is again because a lady figure. Had it been a Muslim mosque, do you think that lady figures would be there, and that too with a big bust? You can never imagine. In many of the mosques, people even now the ladies do not go. But here you have a lady with a very prominent bust. It was excavated from there. How can it be a mosque? Next, please. This is another lady figure. Next, please. And this is the lower part of the feet part of another person. Next, please. Human figures would never be in a temple, in a mosque. This is again a human figure. Human figures are haram, that is completely prohibited in mosque area. Next, please. This is a lady drummer. She is a drummer. A drummer will not be there in a mosque. She is a drum player, which is there only in temples. Next, please. A horse. Next, please. This is a dog. Can you ever imagine a dog in a mosque? Next, please. A horse. Next, please. This is a cobra. So they said that cobra means that is a Shiva. So we said that we gave the replies whether it is Shiva or Vishnu, there is no difference at all. Shivaya Vishnu Namaya, Shiva Namaya Vishnuve, Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnusya Hridayam Shiva. So that completely silenced them. This is a cobra. Next, please. And this is that Amalka, the top part of the temple, which is available only in a temple area. Next, please. Because in this is again no, in North India, you can see this the same kind of Amalka. Go to Ayodhya, Pattanadikal, Badami, you will find this kind of temple. Next, the top part of it. Next, please. So this is again from the excavation, the Purna collection that was excavated. Pillars like this one. Next, please. Again, the same kind of temple pillars. Next, please. Temple stencil figures. Next, please. This is what I said. This is this one Pranali, and that too a Magara Pranali. So this we have shown, just to it is now even now it has not been excavated fully, just to show you partially. It is still under earth. So this Pranali, that is Magara Pranali, you will not get in any market area, you will not get in any residential area, only in temple. It is for the Abhisheka Jala to go out. This is Bhojpur temple. You have the same kind of, Magara Pranali. This is a huge temple in Madhya Pradesh, which I had conserved it. Next, please. This is again another Pranali, Magara Pranali. Next, please. Again another from Vijayanagara temples. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. A number of structures were excavated of temples. And this is that this one, Vishnu Hari Shilapalak, with 20 lines, which very completely says this Vishnu temple has been dedicated to that Vishnu. This temple has been dedicated to that Vishnu who had killed Bali and who had killed 10-headed person. This is that one. Next, please. This is the full form of it. And communist historians said, oh, it was a plant, it has brought from some other place and it has been concealed here because they did not know about excavations and other things. Next, please. And another inscription also. Next, please. Many inscriptions were excavated. And this is about the archaeological part. Then the historical part, there are number of references about all these things. Next, please. And even in Akbarnama, Aine Akbari, there are references about Ayodhya. And later, English travelers who had come to India, they had also spoken about Ayodhya, Ayodhya worship also, Rama worship also, and also about those temple pillars. Next, please. Next, please. All these are records. There are shortage of time. We will not go into details. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. All these are English records. And even Persian records were also available in order to prove. They call it Masjid-e Janmasthan, which means that it was the birthplace of Lord Ram. So these are the Persian records in order to establish it. So it was on the basis of all these things, historical, archaeological, and epigraphical evidences. It was conclusively proved that there was a temple before the construction of the mosque, and it was on the basis of that this Honorable Supreme Court had come to this decision that there was a temple and it should be handed over to Hindu community for constructing a very huge temple. Now, this is a time for all of us Indians, to accept the fact that certain things have happened in history that is not justified. The British people, they had done so many atrocities on Indian, but they don't try to justify it. And similarly, it has happened in the history over a period. Let us not cover up those things. Let us not hide out those things. But now let us not do anything like that one. Similarly, all those people, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, they should come together again and create a constructive, new, very powerful India. Let my country, I mean, awake into that freedom and that stronger India. Thank you all. Thank you very much for giving me a very patient hearing. Thank you all.
Thanks for this wonderful session, Mohammed ji. We all enjoyed
Welcome,
it.
sir. Welcome.
On behalf of Krishna Mata, Paryay Shri Adamar Mata, our heartfelt thanks uh, even though you couldn't make it here owing to this corona pandemic, but it was same as you being here and giving a lecture, giving a talk. That was a nice
Wonderful.
demonstration. The grip, actually, many times you told one word that is rich Indian heritage. I suppose
Yes.
that itself summarizes how much passionate you are about our country, our heritage, etc. And even delivery of Sanskrit shlokas, that too was amazing. We just liked in every aspect your this presentation was very good. It certainly requires honesty, dedication, and of course an unending research to unearth the hidden facts of Asian India, and lots of courage to speak boldly the truths of our country in spite of the powerful prejudiced opposition by the so-called intellectual historians. We suppose the Almighty has sent you here for this work itself. We appreciate your patriotism, impartial research, and the honesty in providing proofs for the court in awarding justice in Ayodhya Rama Mandir Babri Masjid issue, and also conserving ancient Hindu temples against human hurdles of dacoits, and most importantly, this is the best thing you have ever done, like rising above narrow parochial feelings of caste, creed, religion, or gender. You are certainly a gem of our country and will remain for generations to come. And over the time to come, you should visit Udupi, Krishnamata once again and
Surely.
enlighten us with
Surely.
your wise
Surely.
words. Um,
My privilege.
yeah. I request Paryayasir Sri Sri Shapriya Tirtha Swamiji to speak few words.
हरे रामा मोहम्मद जी आपका जो लेक्चर था इट्स ए आई ओपनिंग लेक्चर एंड टू बी पीपल very happy, glad to hear you once again the coming days. You should come to Udupi and आपका जो भाषण में अभी कवर अप करने को नहीं हुआ है जो उसको भी आप आना है तो बाकायद से वो मंदिर का जो इन्फॉर्मेशन लिया वो सभी एक स्टूडेंट को इंस्पायर करता है हाउ वी शुड एनालाइज पर्टिकुलर थिंग वो भी आप द फ्यूचर डेज यू शुड कम हियर एंड यू शुड गिव अ लेक्चर ऑन दैट आल्सो and you told a word, let us start a healing process. Most important
Yes.
thing, whatever is over, we should not think about that. Future, we should start going side by side. ಉಡುಪಿಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತುಂಬ ಇಂತಹ ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕ ನಿಲುವು ಅದು ಇರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನಿಲುವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ದೇವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದಗಳು ಇರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಈಗಿನ ಜನರು ಸತ್ಯದ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬದುಕಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ನುವ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾದ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ಸಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, we'd like to thank the archaeological department also, by which you started your career and you have given a great gift to India. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ಸಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಇಂತಹ ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಮುಂದುವರಿಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಯುವಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ದೇವರ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಸದಾ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉಳಿದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕೊರೋನಾ ದೆಸೆಯಿಂದ ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಆದರೂ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರುವಂತಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧನೆಗಳು ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಅವರಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಸಲಿ ದೇವರು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಕೃಷ್ಣಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು. ಹರೇ ನಮಃ.
ಪರ್ಯಾಯ ಪೀಠಾಧೀಶರಿಗೂ ಹಾಗೂ ನೆರೆದ ಸಮಸ್ತ ಜನತೆಗೂ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸುವಂತಹ ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ಶ್ರೀಮಠದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು, ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆಯನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ವಯೋಲಿನ್ ಮತ್ತು ವಯೋಲಾ ದ್ವಂದ್ವವಾದನವನ್ನು ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ವಿಠ್ಠಲ ರಾಮಮೂರ್ತಿ ಚೆನ್ನೈ ಹಾಗೂ ವಿ.ಎಸ್. ಮುರಾರಿ ಚೆನ್ನೈ ಇವರು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಪರಿಸಮಾಪ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು.
Enjoy delightful